What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another exciting episode of That's Random Podcast, the podcast where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. Today is no different. Listen, if this is your first time here, thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. The best way to support us here is to go to that Nerdy's Umbrella Patreon or go to nerdysumbrella.com. See everything that's over there. You can donate. You can give $1, quarter, nickel, dime. Old school hustle is still there, but it's going to keep giving you shows like Snack Time with Nerdy, Brunch Chicks, That's Random, the Red Cup edition. It's going to keep giving you, Voices from the Kitchen, Nerdy's Gaming, when we be streaming and talking about current events. And then, of course, also can't leave out my CPT reviews. We get to them when we get to them, all right? The stuff that we review when we review it, all right? If you got a problem with that, talk to the man, okay? But neither here nor there. Thank you for tuning in. And today, I'm gonna be straight with it, right? And we're talking about responsibility today. And the reason why we're talking about responsibility is because in today's culture, responsibility is more of hot potato. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the game hot potato. Potato gets too hot, you toss it to somebody else. You get it gets a little hotter, you keep tossing and tossing and tossing it until it falls on the ground and the last person is left holding the potato or drop the potato at their foot because it got too hot. That's the person that the responsibility falls on. Not technically how the game goes is just toss the potato till it gets too hot. Last person loses, right? But in life, that's the responsibility. I'm going to continue to pass the buck as much as I possibly can because I don't want to be responsible for anything. I'm not understanding how we got to this point as a society. And maybe some of y'all out there can help me. Maybe y'all can point to some things, some key points in our social history where this became a thing. And whether is it something that's learned, taught at home, or is it something that we've seen in the TV, on the TV shows, movies? Where did it become cool to not want to share responsibility? I'll share with you guys myself. I was once in this position where I didn't want to be responsible for anybody but myself. And that means when it came to school, when it came to work, when it came to anything, I did not want to be responsible for anybody but Nerdy. I say this to you because I can't pinpoint where that came from for me. Even going back and trying to think about young Nerdy, what made you feel that way? What made you only want to be responsible for yourself and nobody else? And it's challenging to think about that. I don't know where it came from. It's what try to jump back into that mindset and think about it. No, I didn't want to. I didn't want to be responsible for nobody because I just couldn't see it. Hell, I was hardly holding myself accountable and being responsible for the things that I was doing. But I knew that the things that I was doing, other people wouldn't do it the way that I did it. Everything that I did, I don't regret. I didn't mess up epically. I didn't land myself in jail. I didn't do things that society would have frowned upon. So I always kept myself out of those type of situations. And to be responsible for somebody else and knowing that they wouldn't make the same decisions as me, maybe that's why I didn't want to be. But every job that I've taken up, I've always been put in a leadership role. Even when I played sports, I was put in a leadership role, not because that's something that I wanted. It was something that the people saw in me. My coaches saw it in me like, nope, leader, you go in this position. The people at work, you work hard, you have a great understanding, you can explain this to a 5-year-old and they'll understand how to work here. We want you in this leadership role. Pushed on me. But in the mindset, it was, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be responsible for nobody else. So at one point in time, yeah, I half-assed it because I knew what was going to happen. Hey, you get with this, you get here, you do this, guess what's going to happen? They're going to see your work ethic. They're going to see the qualities that you have, and they're going to say, yeah, you should be in management. Yeah, you should be in this. You should be in that. And it's like, shit, but I don't want to be. But I'm trying to figure out, I know I'm not the only one. I see it. It's so egregious today that when it comes to, and let's I'm gonna bring this into relationships. Something small. What's for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Most folks, if it's 7:00, 7:30-ish, depending on where you live, if you're asking that question probably drags on for anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. And by that time, all the good restaurants are on their way to closing. Don't try to Uber Eats. Don't try to DoorDash. Don't try to Postmates. They gonna get there and the building gonna be closed. And y'all gonna be stuck eating whatever close fast food restaurant is around, and hopefully they still open. This restaurant's closing early at 9:00. I don't know what the hell that's all about. I'm not exactly sure why restaurants are closing at 9:00. I mean, I get that Taco Bell, the McDonald's, hell, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Chick-fil-A closed at 10:00. You know, I moved from one side of the town because I knew everything closed at 9:00. It was shut down at 9:00. You couldn't even get a goddamn Whopper Jr. at 9:00. But I moved back to the other side because I was like, oh, well, you know, the other restaurants and stuff out there, they stay open late. Silly me. No, they didn't. They closed at the exact same time. Or they stayed open until 10:00. I'm like, what the hell happened? But that simple conversation is like, okay, well, hey, if I pick this restaurant and we have a bad experience at this restaurant, that's on me. I hold the responsibility because I picked that restaurant. We don't even want the responsibility of picking somewhere to go to enjoy a meal, to say, damn, that fell on me. I don't want to be responsible for that. That's your girl. That's your man. You picked something and it didn't work out. It's cool. It happens. Nobody shoots 100%. We already know this. But why do we feel that way? That we always have to shoot 100%? Who told you that? Who told you that you have to be perfect? Who told you that you have to shoot 100%? Who told you because you have Google, you're supposed to have all of the answers in the world? Who told you that you are a genius because you have technology in your hand and you should push it to all of the great limits and you should never, ever, ever be wrong in life? Who told you that? Nobody. Nobody tells you that. These kids that are coming up today, their parents grew up in a time where mistakes and failures are your best teachers. Their parents grew up in a time where mistakes and failures are their best teachers. But somehow it's creeped into those generations, and those generations don't even want to be wrong about anything. They don't want the responsibility to be wrong. I'm not saying everybody, but it's heavy. It's so heavy. Some people just don't give a fuck. They be like, yo, let's go here. I heard this popping. I heard they got girls swinging off the damn off the chandeliers and da. And then you get there and it's dead. Ain't even a damn chandelier in there. It's just like studio lights. It ain't even what you think it is. It's just some bullshit, okay? That's just reality, okay? It's just some bullshit, okay? Oh, you brought us to this old boring ass wacky ass place. Well, you didn't pick a place. You didn't suggest a place because nobody wants to get ridiculed for having an opinion and saying, hey, let's go here. I don't know if it's the internet that has done this to us to where, hey, we know that they're internet thugs. They're going to be thugging because they ain't got nothing going on in their real life. All they do is sit behind a computer all day long. They sciatica's fucked up. They can't walk down the block. They fat. They just ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing going. You know what I'm saying? They can't wait to get home. They can't wait to get home to type tickety clack 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 clack. Some of them don't even use their phones. They got the big old school tower computer. They ready. They tap, 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 tap. Got big screens. They want to see everything. They want to be on every social media platform talking shit. But I wonder, and maybe y'all can tell me, maybe because of that, maybe because that's what's going on. Maybe that has put people in a position to where they feel like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get ridiculed for my decision making. Decision making is a part of life. You make a decision to brush your teeth every morning. You make a decision to wipe your ass once you finish, taking a shit. You make a decision to put on clothes. You make a decision to put on some nice clothes. You make a decision to go to the store and buy designer clothing. You make a lot of decisions throughout the day for yourself. But what's so hard or what's so challenging about you making a decision for someone else that includes you? Answer. Get down in the comments. Let me know. I'm curious. What stops you from wanting to be responsible? And see this is small responsibility that I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about, big responsibility like when you're in a corporate setting, right? And you're on a job and your boss asks you a question. And because they asked you a question, your response is to redirect the question and ask it back to your boss, and then in turn your boss tells you, you know what, that is a great question, let me follow up with that. I've been in too many rooms and on too many calls where that has happened with upper management, where they're ping-ponging who's going to take it. We're a team. We should figure this out together. We shouldn't be ping-ponging shit back and forth. And hey, I asked you, you give me an answer. Just like I said before, hey, sometimes some things just require a yes or no answer. Sometimes other questions require a little bit more thought, and it requires you to make a decision. If you're in this position and you're making six figures, you should be able to make a decision. You shouldn't be scared. Listen, the company understands you're not going to hit it right 100% of the time. Hell, the companies don't hit it 100% of the time. Nobody hits it 100% of the time. And for that reason, we sit here and it's like we're scared. Scared of what? Scared of what? There's nothing to be scared of. I had a conversation the other day. And in that conversation, I'll make this quick. I asked, society has shown us, other societies have shown us that there are strength in numbers. Hell, even that saying in itself, there are strength in numbers, is saying a lot. We've seen that when we band together, things will change. Take, for example, Disney, ABC with the Jimmy Kimmel. I bring this back up because all people did, they felt that Jimmy Kimmel wasn't wrong. So they start to unsubscribe to Disney Plus. Regardless of what the president said, Disney, ABC said, fuck what the president talking about. Let's get Jimmy back on this fucking TV because the amount of money we're losing. The economists have said if America shut down for 2 days, that all big businesses would be in a fucking it will throw the American economy into a whirlwind. We can boycott Target, allegedly, and we can put our voices together for certain things, and we see immediate change. But what would it take for us if we don't like what's going on with our government? What would it take for us all to come together to do something to disrupt the whole entire system and to say, we need better and we want better? The responsibility is on us as people. We say that a lot of folks say that the voting is rigged. That's why I don't vote. I don't vote because it's rigged. I vote. Nerdy votes. I believe that voting helps. I believe that everybody has a voice and everybody should have a say so, whether you're voting, and I believe that everybody votes counts. But we do also know that there are things behind the scenes that may happen, but we can make that we can make those changes. We can say we're not going to take it. There are songs saying that they don't really care about us. There are things there are things out there that show us that if we came together, that we can make a difference in our everyday life and in our culture that we have here in America. It's a reason why the other countries talk shit and talk down on us and look at us as less than. We think we're the big, powerful, mighty country that we are, but we're not. We're not. And the reason is nobody wants that responsibility because they're scared of what's coming next. What's going to come after that? Okay, cool. We stopped workage. We fucked up. We fucked up the big businesses. What they're going to do? You think they're going to move all of their business over to China, over into these other countries? They're already there. If nobody's working, right? Nobody's getting paid. There's no goods being serviced, right? We pay taxes to pay the cops. If there's no money moving, how do they get paid? Will they patrol the streets? Some say if you do that, you're inviting chaos. No. There's a thing called a peaceful protest. There's a thing called, I'm gonna just say I'm not gonna go into work today. Right? You need somebody to push buttons. Those of us who have internet, we have internet. Are the systems going to automatically the systems, if nobody's manning those systems, are those systems automatically going to cut off our internet? Are they going to, if we already have food in our house, in our homes, are they going to come to our homes and say, you can't have that food for 2 days? And I know some of us, and I'm not being insensitive, but I know some of us don't have 2 days worth of food. But what if we can inflict change on a grand scale? What's stopping you to say, I won't go to work for 2 days, and we shut the entire America down. Nobody goes to the gas station. Nobody goes to Walmart. Nobody shows up to work, period. What happens then? I mean, the hospitals will still be running. Because, of course, we got to take care of the sickly. What happens then? What happens when these companies lose billions of dollars? America, the president can't force us to go to work. That's it. They can't tax us if we're not working. They can't put us out of our homes if we all come together. And the people who work at the banks, who work for the big companies, what they're gonna do? They can't, or they're gonna come in and force us out. Once again, you're gonna use the military with what money? Because if the money stops and there's no money, how do you pay somebody with something that you don't have? I know I'm getting a little long-winded here. This is a responsibility that we have as a people. And I'll wrap it up right here. The reason why we won't do that is because of convenience. It's because of comfortability. One thing about America is we enjoy our convenience and our comfort. They tell you that you have to get uncomfortable to succeed in life. Some of us went through that uncomfortableness, got to a place and say, I never, ever want to go back to being uncomfortable ever again in life. And that's what we're seeing in America. Nobody wants to go back to eating ramen noodles. I don't care how fancy they made them. I don't care how many poke bowls you can put together. Nobody wants to go back to eating ramen noodles. Nobody wants to leave their 3,500 square foot home, 4,500 square foot home. Nobody wants to wake up and not have their mocha coca, latte, matcha, whatever. Nobody wants to wake up and say, I don't have internet. Nobody wants to wake up and be out of their comfort zone, because when you're out of your comfort zone, you know that there's work that comes with that. The responsibility is on us as a people to be better. We talk about being better. We talk about being better and being a better country. But we can't be a better country if we're always going to pass the responsibility on someone else to make the country better. And if we don't step in and step in and show up and do our part, then the people that we have in office and the people that we put in office, if they're not doing the greatest of jobs, we're just shrugging our shoulders and say, oh, well, because it doesn't affect us and it's not knocking at our door. Listen, I'm gonna get into a little music and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna I'll do the closeout and we'll get out of here, okay? So let's get this going. And you're back, and this is the closeout. Listen, we shouldn't be held back. Responsibility, we shouldn't dodge it. We shouldn't play hot potato with responsibility. Our responsibility is to leave this world better than what we found it. Leave our country better than what we found it. Our job is to make sure that our family benefits from the things that we've experienced in life. It's on us. It's on us. First things first, it says take care of home. Well, to take care of home means to take care of the country. The way I look at it is, my home is the United States of America. Then the home that I live in with my family, I take care of that as well. Right? And if you want to flip those in reverse, that's totally fine. But I want you guys to understand that home is home. And if you don't like what's going on in your house, you have the responsibility to get up and vote. You have the responsibility to speak out. We have freedom of speech in this country, no matter what they say or whether you believe it or not. We have freedom of speech. I have my platform. I'm here talking, and I'm here speaking with you guys right now. I don't understand where this hot potato with responsibility came from. I'm asking you guys, point me in the right direction. And then it's like this: identify what the issue is, and then let's find some solutions together to better us as people, better us as a nation, better us as just whatever we can be. If that's not what you want, I understand. That's your choice. If you like it the way that it is right now, that says a lot about you as a person, and that's not for me here to judge. If there's other people who want to judge you, let them go right ahead. Nerdy not gonna do that. But if this is where you are and you like the way that it is, you like that, the state of the country, then hey, that's on you. All I'm gonna ask you guys is to stop playing hot potato with the responsibility. Get in the comments and let me know where it started at. Was it something taught? Was it something that it was learned? Was it something, if you remember when there was a time with you where you didn't want to play, where you didn't want to be responsible for anybody else but yourself? Get in the comments, share it with me, and I appreciate you. Listen, if you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for tuning in. This is Oh That's Random podcast, the podcast where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. And until next time, I'm your guy, Nerdy G, and I'm out.